Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm going to show you what I have completed from the previous video. I'll link it up here or here so that you can watch that if you missed it. I love some volunteer plants. That's a tomato plant coming out of my composting bin right there that we built out of an old porch that we had on the front of the house. We used the old wood and built us a composting bin to put our compost in. But check that baby out. Now, it's probably a grocery store tomato, I'm pretty sure, because I haven't had any garden tomatoes. So we'll see what kind of tomatoes we'll be getting out of that. Really stoked to see what it will get off of here. But I'm gonna let it grow and I'll probably just trellis it on up this composting bin. It's good to have on hand some extra mulch because you never know what you're going to use it for. A pitchfork is a great way to sling that stuff around. But let me take you up here and show you my finished product of the garden here. So I'm going to start over here. I have my peppers and my okra plants. I planted 2 new seeds and these 2 on the end, but they haven't come up yet, so I'm not going to mulch them yet. But I went ahead and mulched all of this. The mulch is a great suppressor, less weeding, and just overall catches the rainwater and helps these plants out. So I went ahead and done that. My husband, Jason, he has been helping me on the watering. In the last couple of go-arounds, he's missed this section because he didn't realize there was something over here. So now that it's mulched up, he'll know that it is. I went ahead and put all my trash bags over here, hopefully to kill some grass over here and plant something. But this is my finished project, y'all, that I planted the pumpkins and the watermelons. And I had even enough space up here to do some more classic beefsteak tomatoes and some Paul Robesons. And I planted a different kind of zinnia, giant zinnia, and some sunflowers at the very, very tip. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm kind of pleased how it turned out. And like I said, I do have some grass in there, but between the mulch and the dirt and all that, hopefully it'll die off and I can mulch again around it once the plants start coming in. I also, on my grapes over here, just filled it in real nice to cut down on the weeds. You can also use straw. Straw is better than hay because hay tends to reseed real bad. So if you want to mulch with straw, that's a good weed suppressor also. Not saying that you're not going to get any weeds, but it'll help with the weeds. And look at this lovely grape over here. It is doing wonderful. It's one of the 4 plants that one of the 2 plants of the grapes that I've planted that's actually taken off. I'm still waiting for this one over here to do something. And then my raspberries, I did the same thing over there. But I wanted to show y'all something else while I was down here in the garden. Just a extra tip about irises. My irises are pretty much spent. So what you do basically is you want to come to the base of the stem where the flower is. You come all the way down and find, let me see if I can get around here so I can show you a little bit better. Sorry, the lighting's not good. I got my thumb in the video there. But just come down here and you just want to snip that off and leave the leaves. And what basically it'll do is it'll put all the growing into them leaves instead of, focusing on the stem as well. The stem is already spent, so we don't need the growth focusing in on it. And you just cut it down and it goes back into the leaves, the growth. The growing system will go back into the leaves, and then eventually I just cut mine down. But for right now, I'm just cutting these down in the garden. I've got a whole lot up at the top in my flower beds, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to get the ones here in my garden. And basically these are not diseased in any way, so I will put these in my composting bin. I figured while I had y'all on here, I just wanted to give y'all that real quick tip on the irises. So we're gonna go up here on the porch. Come sit with me for a spell. We're gonna talk about microgreens and how to grow them. Whew. I'm so glad to be under the porch, y'all. Just in time. It's starting to get a little bit more windier up here, and the sun's starting to go in. I'm under the shade, so that's nice and refreshing, although I do love the sun. It's super, super hot, and especially when you're working out in the garden. And I figured I'd go ahead and do this video today since I was already dirty. So we're going to talk about microgreens today, and I've never grown microgreens myself. I've always wanted to. It looked like it would be tons and loads of fun. But I want to go over, and I got a little cheat note, so if you see me glance down every now and then, you'll know why. The wind! I can't seem to keep everything in my head, y'all. I have so much going on, floating around in there, that sometimes I have to write down notes just to remind myself what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. Y'all ever do that? Just going through the day and you got 50 million things just so anywho, let's talk about microgreens. So here are 5 things that I have come up with on microgreens on my research. So 1, microgreens are very good for people that have a busy schedule. A lot of us are not stay-at-home moms. We work a job and just have very little time to commit to things. But with microgreens, you just plant them and let them go, and they do their thing. So it's good for people that don't have the time to really necessarily do a big garden, but they want to do something healthy for their diet. And so that is number 1. Number 2 is they're super easy to share. Basically, you get a container. Don't judge me. I'm using a sour cream container here. Use what you got, guys. Use what you got. But you can grow it, and if you grow way too much and you seem like, well, you don't think you're going to eat all of that, you can give it to a friend. It's easy to pop it in a container and transfer it to somebody else's home. Number 3, they're affordable and high quality greens. A lot of times you'll go to the grocery store, you spend all this money on these big leafy greens, and you have them for a day or two and they start wilting and getting mushy, and they just don't seem to really make, well, to me it just doesn't seem really to make a lot of sense to spend all that money and then have to eat it up in like a day or so because they're going to wilt or get mushy. So they're easy to clean, and they stay fresher in the refrigerator for days. You can add them to anything like eggs, or you can add them to salads. You can add them to smoothies. You can eat them plain. I mean, any way you can think about eating microgreens, you can do it, guys. And number 4, they're so much fun to grow. I've watched personally, now I did tell you that I have never grown them myself before, but I've watched some videos and I've kind of studied up on microgreens, and just to watch them germinate in just a few days time, they say they can take anywhere from 5 to 10 days. It's just fun and rewarding to be able to grow something and not have to wait, you know. I, for one, and I don't know about y'all, when it comes to growing, I tend to get a little impatient. I'm like, I'll plant something and I'll look, and then at the end of the day, I'll look again, and I'm like, when is it going to come up, you know? And I'll look every day, and I have to know that, hey, it's got to have time to pop out of that little seed and push through that ground and grow. So that is number 4. And number 5, is to learn from nature. It's just awesome to know how and where your food comes from. If you have any littles at home, this would be a great experiment to do with them. They'll get so tickled to death because kids, just like us adults, they have very little patience. And so it's fun to just be able to plant something and it grow in a few days and see their face light up and kind of give them the education of how and where their food comes from. You can even go a step further and get into the science part of it and teach them about, you know, how it grows from a seed and how it pushes through that soil. They're super easy to start, and if you're new to gardening and you've never gardened before, this I would suggest probably the best thing for you to do is to start right here. It's very rewarding, like I said before. You get some experience in, and it's less work, and it's a less wait time. So now that I've got that covered, I'm going to show you what I picked up. So I got a mixture, a mild mixed container mixture. It's called Microgreens Mild Mix. And I basically picked this up from the Dollar General. That's right, Dollar General carries these. It wasn't but $1. So very inexpensive. And in this one it says it's got Kale Red Express. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I apologize, I read that wrong. Cabbage Red Express, kale, don't even know how to pronounce that. Mustard something another, Black Knight, Cabbage Pack, Koi, Mustard Mazzini. So yeah, if you can see that description right there, it's just bukus and bukus and bukus of different things mixed up in it. And it's even got a picture on the side where you can see the tomatoes with your microgreens. So just a very good tasty little snack for the summer. You know, a lot of times I don't eat real heavy during the day because it's so hot and muggy, and I tend to do my bigger meals at night. So during the day it would be a nice light snack and give you tons and tons of energy. And it's also good for your cannot get that word out, your digestion tract as well. Okay, so basically I went ahead and laid out everything, and I'm going to walk you through it. It's very simple. Let me flip this camera around. So all you're going to need is you're going to need some trays. I've got these from Bootstrap Farmer, but you can also use like full trays that you cook in, just whatever you have on hand. And then I've got some containers as well, just whatever I had on hand. And what I do is I take a knife or some scissors and poke some holes to the water that can, when you set it down in the tray, it can bottom feed the microgreens. And then of course you're going to need some pot and soil, and I've got this from Lowe's, and it's already got the fertilizer in it. My girls are going crazy over there. And then you need your microgreen pack, and you also need your water. I got distracted, y'all. Look at that beautiful butterfly. Ain't it gorgeous? I love that orange color. Okay, so basically you take your container, and I've already got me a couple of my pot and soil, and you're just going to dump it into your container. And I'm not going to fill mine all the way up yet, okay? I want to leave a little bit of space, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. And then you get your pack. So these right here say on the back that it takes 2 to 5 days to germinate. You just want to plant them 1/8 of an inch in the soil. Seed spacing really doesn't really matter at this point because you're just doing it in a container. But if you're like doing it, you can also take a big pot and soil bag and cut out make sure you put holes at the bottom so it can drain, but cut out like a rectangle in it and plant them so you can space them out a little bit more if you want to, and just water them from the top. That's another way you could do it. If you don't want to hassle with all the containers or anything, you can just pop you a big old bag of pot and soil on the ground, cut a square on it, make sure you punch your holes in the bottom, and just plant them on top. Put them in a sunny spot and watch them grow and water them. And then it says they can grow from 1 to 2 inches tall. Y'all are like, wow, that's not a lot. But these things pack a lot of nutrients in them. They might be small little things, but they are very healthy for your body. And also it says it takes about 5 to 10 days. I think I already said that. Y'all have to forgive me. When I work hard, I get a little loopy in the brain and I can't remember what I said or what I done. I know earlier when I was recording, I couldn't even see what I was recording, so I'm hoping that y'all didn't get a lot of sun glare in that first video before this one. Anyway, I'm having trouble opening this pack too. Let's see, and it's got a ton of seeds in here also. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to use this knife to open this up because I'm all thumbs here. There we go. And I'm going to show y'all these seeds. I'm going to show you how tiny they are. I'm going to pour some out in my hands. Let's set this up so it don't fall. To see how tiny, I'm already dropping some. See how tiny the seeds are? So I might want to put, I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to put a little bit more in this container because you don't want to have to cover them with so much. So we're just going to press that down. And I'm going to take my seeds and I'm just going to randomly like spread them out. I'm not going to really worry about the spacing. Alright, I'm going to put just a little bit more. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of soil, not a whole lot, and just kind of gently put it on top of it. Because it said you just want to put them in there 1/8 of an inch. And you pat that down. Alright, I'm going to leave this out of the tray so I know that I planted in that one. So now I'm going to take this one. You can also, if you prefer, which is a little bit more time involved in it, but you can take your seed and just kind of put it right there on the soil and push it down in there. But I find it easier just to kind of sprinkle them on top. You just sprinkle it on top. And another reason why I wanted to get into growing microgreens too is from past videos that y'all probably have noticed that we have pretty wide open skies here. And I've got trees all around me, but like in my main yard, I don't have a lot. And so my chickens, they come out in the run, and they've got plenty of room, but they, I don't free range them, because, and I'm going to say this, y'all are going to laugh at me, because a lot of people do. I say hawk, I don't know how y'all pronounce it, but anyway, we have a lot of hawks flying around here. And once a hawk knows you got chickens and gets one, most of the time the rest of the flock is gone. So I don't want to take that chance. And I thought growing some microgreens would be a good way in giving them some greens without having to let them out in the yard to free range. So that was another reason why I wanted to do this too. So I've got one tray for the chickens and one tray for us to eat off of. Oh, the wind is really picking up. I'm just going to cover that up. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these and come back to you. Okay, now that I've got everything planted and covered up, you just take your water and you pour it in your trays. Now, you can leave these out in a sunny spot in your yard or on your porch where you know they're getting some sun. and just keep a check on the water, and make sure they don't run out of water. You can also do these inside if you like, near a south-facing window, or you can grow these under some grow lights, and I'm pretty sure that the grow lights would probably make them grow a little bit faster. So there's 3 options that you can do as far as where you wanting to grow them out. I think I'm going to set them, I got a little stand over here on the side of the porch, my south facing side of the porch, that gets the most sun on the side of it, because you know we have a tin roof that goes over, but we get right much sun on this side. Everything is just blowing all over the place, y'all. I'm getting distracted by it. My wind chimes are blowing too. They sound so pretty. But I'm so glad that y'all were able to join me again. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I'm praying that these will go ahead and grow in the next 5 days. They say 5 to 10 days. I'm hoping in the next 5 days they will grow so I can give you an update on them. We're planning on doing a Texas trip. We have family. My mom, on my mom's side, lives in Texas. And so we go every other year, and this is the year that we're supposed to go. So we're going to go up there for a week to visit them. And I might bring y'all along on that adventure going to Texas. But if they don't sprout before then, which I think they will, my son Chance will be here house sitting. He decided to forfeit the trip this year. Him and his girlfriend are thinking about doing a beach trip in July, so I can understand that. So if he's here, I might get him to snap a picture so I can post a picture on the YouTube or in a following video that y'all can see. But I'm glad that y'all were able to join me today. I hope that you liked this video. Please like or share it. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of the next video that's coming up. And as always, y'all have a great day. Until next time, we'll see you soon.